Hi there. Thanks for joining me in a moment to be anchored in something greater than ourselves. Today is Wednesday, April 15th, formerly Tax Day. I guess it still is, although it's been extended. And my thoughts today have to do with the KOG, the kingdom or kingdom of God. Jesus talks a lot about it. And I think that many of us have come to think of the KOG as something totally separate from the world. That's what happens later on in life. And of course, that's not what Jesus was telling us at all. He was saying that it is here, it is at hand. And many scholars believe he was not talking just about himself, but he's talking about the realization of these sort of dual universes, multi-universes sometimes. God's universe happening right here, right now. Sometimes I think of it in a hologram. Like the Star Trek series or Next Generation or some of those things where you'd have the holodeck and you could create a whole world in there that still existed in the temporal world, but was different. Last night I had just an amazing pleasure of connecting with people, some of whom I had not seen in literally over 40 years. And they were friends from the New York State Music Camp, which many of you know my dad started. And it was around for about 50 years, a little over 50 years, and then ultimately disbanded. But it was so much more than a music camp. Music was our excuse for getting there, but it was a spiritual experience. It was a place where people were valued, and you were made to feel that you could do things, even though it was realistically put out in front of you. Maybe you're not a musician, but man, look at the gift you have over here. And it was so amazing to me last night. I think there were about 35 of us online at one time or another doing a Zoom meeting. And like I say, some of them I had not seen in 40 years. Some of us went on to be great, internationally renowned musicians or still living overseas and doing music. Others were went on to be music teachers, others teachers of some other sort. Many got out of music altogether but keep it as an avocation. There were people there in the computer field and biomedical engineers, and there's a former Navy SEAL and who's now is Culinary Institute of America graduate chef. I mean, crazy. It's just crazy. But listening to them, they all said the same thing. It was transformative. It changed their experience at NYSMIC, New York State Music Camp, changed their lives, especially running into it in teen years or early 20s. It formed who we have become. And I ended up saying to them that when I look at the things that we did, how we cared about each other, how it was instilled in us this group understanding of mutual care and concern and acceptance and love, and that we stand by each other no matter what, even 40 years later. To me, that represents the KOG. And some of the people were nodding, and some of them looked at me like, what is she talking about? Which is okay. But it helped me to realize again that the KOG is all around us. And there have been times, I'm sure, in your life where you have experienced that acceptance, unconditional acceptance, unconditional love, some would call it, where you have thrived rather than just survived, where, and maybe it was a family, maybe it's the family you came from, maybe it's the family that you created, family of choice. Maybe it's a workplace. Maybe it's been a series of those places in your life. I invite you today to think about those places and now to look at it through the lens of the KOG. To look back and see how it is that those places instilled a kind of energy, a kind of understanding, a foundation of peace, acceptance, all of the things, justice, equality, all the things that we expect from the KOG. And then realize that God speaks to us in a language that we can understand. And it may not be holy tones. It may not be talk about Bible and Jesus and God all the time. It just may be something transformative, like the music camp, or some athletic team, or some time in your job, your career that became just transformative. Whatever it is, I invite you to think about that and to recognize it, change the lens through which you look at it just a little so that you come to understand that that is also the KOG. That is also the kingdom of God and how we are exposed to God's love, even when we don't know it. Sometimes it takes hindsight. Hindsight's 20/20, right? So looking back on it, where have you experienced the KOG in your life? Okay, that's enough to think about for today. Hope you have a great day. I'm Pastor Deb Swift. I'm from South Presbyterian Church in Rochester, New York. You can find all of our videos and moments like this, Prayerful Pause with the Pastor, on our YouTube channel, which is South Church Rochester. South Church Rochester. Or you can learn more about our Acts of Faith community and how we do ministry, having sold our church building 5 years ago, by looking on our website, and the address is on the end slide of this video. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow, I hope. Have a great day. Be safe. Bye for now.